Hello and welcome. If you're here, I trust it is for a reason. My name is Cassandra Marissa, also known as the Soft Sanctuary or Crochet Cassie, and this is my story. But more than that, this is an introduction to my heart, to my mission, and to the spaces that I've created in this world. I was born and raised in Toronto, and for as long as I can remember, I have felt like I didn't fit in. I felt out of place, like the black sheep. It's been like this in my family, in my school, in systems. I never quite fit what was expected of me. I've always been a rebel to the mainstream, not in a loud way, but in a soul way. Like something in me couldn't conform. I never liked anything that the rest of the group liked, and I was bullied a lot growing up. I was the person who would befriend the ones who were left out, always, the ones who were being made fun of, misunderstood, or overlooked. I naturally gravitated towards them. And looking back now, I realized that that was always my nature from the beginning, to hold space for people who really felt like they didn't belong. My first spiritual awakening was when I was 14 years old, so young. I didn't have the words for it at the time, but I understood something very deep within my soul, that I could hold this space for people in a way that made them feel really safe, seen, and even healed and held. And I became that person for everyone in my life, for my friends, but especially for my enemies, people who bullied me and hurt me. For me, that was really confusing because the same people who would come to me for comfort would sometimes turn around and make fun of me again. And it would only happen when they felt better. And I didn't understand it then, but now I see it clearly. I was that safe space, even for people who did not know how to be kind. And that was my first understanding of who I was on a deeper level. As I got older and grew within the world, I became even more aware of the truth of this world, the systems, the injustices, the way people fall through the cracks. It really impacted me deeply, and I wanted to help. I wanted to protect people, especially youth. And I thought I was going to become a criminal youth lawyer because I wanted to be the mouthpiece, the voice for people who didn't have one and who couldn't speak. But very quickly, I realized that that path didn't feel right. It felt like I would be pouring my energy into something that wasn't actually designed to heal people. And instead, my energy would be used to hurt people. And so I awakened again and followed a different path. I went into traditional Chinese medicine and I studied from a classical perspective with my teachers. I was so grateful to have that experience. I specifically felt drawn to the art of Qigong, medical Qigong, classical Qigong, and its power of using energy to heal and even do really amazing things like heal blindness and dissolve tumors. I was so fascinated by the authentic knowledge, the ancestral knowledge in that many ways was lost and very much suppressed, even within these ancient systems. That experience has brought me closer to understanding the body, to understanding energy and healing in a way that felt really rooted, and it felt earthly, it felt heavenly, it felt godly. But even with all that, my journey has not been linear. I went through a period where I completely lost myself again. I struggled deeply with body dysmorphia. I would look into the mirror and see something that wasn't even real. It wasn't there. I became obsessive. It led to a lot of OCD, like checking every angle, taking pictures all the time, looking at every mirror, monitoring my body and how I looked, making sure that I was achieving this certain level or standard of perfection that I had to hold that really didn't exist. These were OCD patterns of anxiety, panic attacks, coping mechanisms that were honestly exhausting and so damaging to my soul. I couldn't function in a normal work environment. A 9 to 5 felt impossible to me. The anxiety was so intense, I physically couldn't push through it anymore. And even though during that time I had started a business, Soul Natural, where I was again back to sleep. I completely fell asleep. I forgot all the ancestral wisdom, all the energy work that I did, the Reiki certifications, all the schooling, all the studying, the self-study, the preparedness, the practicing, all of that was completely out of mind, almost like amnesia. I was asleep, like I forgot everything I knew. And that was for a boy. I've always had issues when it came to this father figure and when it came to romantic relationships. I will talk more about that at a different time. Anyways, I was completely in amnesia, lost, back to all these old coping mechanisms and these illnesses that manifested in the 3D due to and all these diseases and all this mental illness and all this just pain and sadness and depression. In the midst of being so lost, so depressed, so strung out, I had a daughter, and after a year and a half, she was 18 months, my body forced me to wake up. Very quickly, I became paralyzed from the chest down. It took 3 days. I couldn't feel my legs. I started losing sensation in my arms. My tongue was tingling. Couldn't feel my bladder. I knew something deep in me, that something was seriously wrong. I was falling all over the place because the my body began to deteriorate slowly, and no one was listening to me. My families didn't believe me. Doctors sent me home. The hospital sent me home. I was told I was fine. People around me didn't understand the severity of what I was going through. And that was really one of the most terrifying parts, knowing that something was wrong and not being heard. Again, it felt like me screaming at the top of my lungs during my second spiritual awakening, trying to tell people the truth of our earth and just everyone just shutting me down. That's what it felt like. But my intuition, my inner knowing was so loud and so strong, so accurate. It told me, hey, this is neurological. You're going to be in a wheelchair if you do not get help, and you will die. So you need to fight. And so I fought so hard. I went from place to place. After being turned away, I finally found a doctor at a walk-in clinic who actually listened to me. He was an angel. He believed in me. And that moment changed everything. But really what shifted my life was what happened spiritually. I reached a breaking point. I prayed, I wanted to live. I want to live. God, give me a chance. I want to live. And in that moment, I sat in that hospital bed, not being able to walk. I made a contract with God that if I was given another chance, I would never forget my mission again. And that no matter how alone I felt, no matter how misunderstood I was going to live on purpose, live my mission, and continue forward. Within 15 days, I was walking again. After that, there was no going back for me, okay? I remembered who I was, and there was no way I could forget. I understand now that I am here. I am an energy healer. I am a grid worker. I am someone who is meant to help and anchor the new earth frequency onto earth. And I will be honest with you, it can feel so isolating. Living in a city, I don't always have people around me in my day-to-day life who are aligned with this in a way of thinking and being. But I know there are others who are out there like me, and I know that we will find each other more and more. And so, after waking up from that slumber, I went back into my mission full force. And this is why I've created Grandona Amor. Now, what is Grandona Amor? Grandona Amor is a beauty studio by day a craft lounge by night with many holistic workshops in between, located in the heart of Toronto, in the city, in the West End. I started small, okay, with what I had. I asked my family for help, and I used minimal resources to bring this vision to life. But now it exists. It's a beauty studio by day, a create lounge by night, a space with holistic workshops, private events, and healing in between. A lot of healing. We offer energy work, we offer electrolysis, which is permanent hair removal, a more natural way to do it, a safer way to do it. We offer acupuncture, massage. But beyond these services, it's a space for people to come and feel safe. We have a community garden, which is really important to me. For the past 3 years, I've been learning how to grow food from my grandfather, and now I'm ready to share that with others. I want others to experience the beauty of growing your own life, growing your own food, and becoming a little bit more sovereign. So we're teaching people how to grow food, even in the city. We need to be growing food on our rooftops, in our small spaces, in containers, in the small concrete areas where the earth decides to live. Because there is more space and possibility than people truly realize, and I want to show them how possible this is. We've also created a small library at Grandona Amour. I've been collecting books my entire life, and now I finally have a home and a purpose for them. We even brought back the old school library systems, like borrowing cards and pockets in the back of the book. And it just makes everything feel so nostalgic, a connection to the back. And as you know, we are going through an involution, which is we are evolving to the past, to the ancient ancestral wisdom, to the earth medicine. And then there is the altar, which is honestly one of my favorite spots of this space. It holds the energy of my journey, my guides, my ancestors, my teachers, and even the people in real life who helped bring this vision into reality. It anchors the energy of the past, present, but also the future in timelessness. It is an anchor of the new earth frequency, and it is a powerful, energetic healing tool for the entire community. I love it so much. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about why Grandona Amour. The name itself is super intentional. Grandona represents something big, ancestral. And also it sounds like grandma. In Italian, Grandona means large, big, huge. And amour means love. And and amour is truly the universal word for love. When you hear amour, you know that means love. So together, it means grandmother's love. That grandmother's love. And that is what this space is meant to feel like. Safe, filled with love, like being held, supported, a grandmother's hug, grandmother's living room, truly. And I like to bring on this term that I coined in 2012, I believe it was, which is to keep alive the grandmother's state of mind. This has always been in my mission. And so I encourage us to keep alive the grandmother's state of mind. Okay. I know there's a lot of fear right now about the future, about cities, about systems, about ourselves, about humanity, but I know we don't have to run away. I believe that we can transform where we are. If enough of us begin to shift our mindset, grow our own food, connect back to the earth, release our holds from the system, and hold a shared vision, we can create something entirely new, even within the city. And this isn't about forcing anything onto anyone or any coercion at all, because we know that just doesn't work. This is about encouraging you to embody that frequency within you, embodying the new earth frequency and allowing it to ripple out, planting seeds and letting people have the choice of what to do with those seeds. So this is me. This is my story. This is what I'm building. If this resonates with you, if you feel the same pull, I would truly love to connect with you. Whether you're in Toronto or any other space in the world, we are not meant to do this alone. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for the work that you do. And thank you so much for just listening to me. I will share so much more. I do have a lot to say, but I'm going to end the video there. Thank you for coming into my heart. I'll see you in the next video. I love you. Bye.